Hello, this is AMS Kung Pao, and what you just saw was the hardest Northside flap I've ever done, and I have a very long list of world records on this track with tuned cars. This car may seem somewhat easy to drive with how much grip it appears to have, but this lap took dozens of hours to do. Allow me to explain what took so long. This car is extremely tail happy through fast corners because of how I tuned the car. I made the setup as fast as possible without caring too much if it provides a forgiving and easy driving experience. So if I didn't have absolutely perfectly smooth inputs through certain corners, my run was as good as dead. There just isn't much rear downforce to keep the rear planted, which is faster in straights and faster overall. There are about a dozen of these corners where I had to drive super smoothly throughout the lap. For example, for this corner I need to brake because if I don't, the car will just spin out no matter how I take it. Not only that, but this car is also going so fast through certain sections of the track that it's almost impossible to stay consistent, even if there was no oversteer. Dozens of hours of building muscle memory and still crashing in the first sector for the vast majority of my attempts. 5 days in and I feel like I can finally get the first sector chicane about half the time without crashing, which has to be the most difficult corner of the whole track because you'll need to time your turns absolutely perfectly or you'll either spin out or oversteer into the wall. What seems to be the perfect line also leads to death because the apex kills you here, and the only good answer is to cut the corner just right and most of the time you'll be okay. So getting a full lap without holding back any pace at all was a very high ask. With a week gone of trying to set a satisfying enough lap, I was wondering if I'll even get the lap I wanted in time before the update. Thankfully, when the time came, I finally got what I was looking for hours before the update went live. I really felt the need to get this lap done because I was afraid this car was going to be slower when it came out, and I wasn't quite satisfied with what I've gotten previously with this car. But knowing how great this lap was, I fell asleep satisfied with what I had done, expecting that I would no longer be worried about getting another time with this car, because it was probably going to be slower after the update. So when I woke up this morning, I tested to see what had changed, whether or not this car was faster or slower. When I got a few corners in, I immediately noticed I had more grip. A few attempts in and I noticed I can brake earlier than before, corner faster, and accelerate sooner out of corners. Dozens of attempts went by and I made a few setup changes and I'm starting to really get a feel for the car. About an hour into testing, I got this insane first sector run, and for comparison, the pre-1.49 first sector world record is a 26.4. So without further ado, let's see what this car can do now.
Hey man, finally. I fucking said finally and the mic cut out. What a bunch of bullocks, man. A bunch of bullocks. I'm just showing my setup. My transmission could be a little bit shorter. But man, this is insane. Yeah, I believe you apply the first gear, then the final, and then second through seventh. I think that's the how you get this is set up here. And then yeah, this is pretty much all set up. So, oh my, this thing is just insane now. You know, is it 14s capable? Yeah, I think it's 14s capable. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's possible, but if I get like a new lap of it, I think I'll get like a 421 or something like that. Yeah, this is insane, man.